Neon came on the Breakfast Club today, and it's kind of funny because he said some wild in the past.
Aiden Ross, there's a comment pending here. He just commented and said, Neon, I promise you they trying to belittle you and disrespect you. You all of them, they are weird as them.
Talking about who?
Us. In here. The chat is live in the Breakfast Club.
Shitting
boy.
on them.
Anyway,
what you
go
talking
ahead.
about?
But he opened up and said, yo, look, I was a troller. I just said anything to anybody. He never thought he was going to run into him, and it got him bread, right? It got him likes. It got him views. But he's changing that now because I think he realized a couple of things. And things that I think I should have realized earlier, asking people wild questions on the Breakfast Club and doing stupid things, is you got to see these people face to face, and your whole image has to change. And that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to change his image. He doesn't want to be that bad guy anymore. He doesn't want to be the troll. And he has to repair all those relationships because he said some wild stuff about some wild things. And like we told him today, some of those things that he said should have got him punched in the mouth. But the kid is doing well. He's only 20 years old. He's learning. So I wish him the best. I mean, the only thing that he listens to his chat too much. And if the chat says something, he does it. But I would just tell that young man, keep doing what you're doing, making money, support your family. And if you're evolving for the right reasons, keep doing it. Because a troll is just a troll until they see somebody in public. What does a troll usually do outside of that? They run. So salute to Neon, man.
So let me give a little bit of context as to why this is a conversation that DJ Envy apparently felt compelled to speak about, right? And so basically what is happening is that Neon pulled up on the Breakfast Club because Neon is expanding his fan base. Yes, Neon has been streaming with all kind of people. I seen him streaming with Rio the other day. And a lot of times what he's basically doing is he's farming, right? He's farming for more content. And so it's only so much that you can do when it comes to just sitting in your room or whatever. And so for those of you that may not be familiar, these are streamers, IRL streamers. I think personally the biggest one is iShowSpeed. Obviously, you got the Kai Cenats, you got the Aiden Rosses, you got the DDGs, you got all of these guys, right? And they've exploded. They make a lot of money when it comes to sponsorships and all of that. Neon is 20 years old, and in the past, he said some crazy stuff, trolling or whatever. And so what I've seen online is that there's a lot of black people that are basically saying the Breakfast Club, who kind of went at him really, really hard on the platform. The Breakfast Club, they saying that, yo, y'all wrong because y'all tried to go at this dude because he's young and you know that he's Jewish and whatever, so on and so forth, and so he couldn't really defend himself. And on the flip side, a lot of people are saying that the Breakfast Club is justified for going at him for things that he said in the past. I think that it's a mixture of both, right? The reality is this, it's all content. So I believe that Neon automatically understood what he was getting himself into when he decided to go on the Breakfast Club because, of course, you got Jess hilarious and you got the Lauren chick and you got Charlamagne and then you got DJ Envy, which is really weird listening to DJ Envy because DJ Envy, he probably the last person that you should look to for advice when it comes to all of the things that's said and done and things being accountable and all of that. And then you got Charlamagne, who obviously has been ran up on in the past. And, you know, I'm not an advocate for anybody running up on anybody, but at the same time, you know, we have to be very, very careful with how it is that we criticize while at the same time not being able to take the feedback. Jess Hilarious, who has cried numerous times, just was crying on the Breakfast Club a couple months ago about how people was viewing her online and so on and so forth. And then the Lauren chick is pretty new, so we don't have to really speak on her. But the reality is this. I believe that Neon did say some crazy things in the past, which obviously was going to come back up at some point, but I don't think that it affects his platform at all because he's not running from it. He just ran straight into the mire and jumping on the Breakfast Club. And I don't think that Neon gets enough credit for people thinking that he's as smart as he is. He is very, very smart. His father is very, very smart. His father has a lot of resources. Neon generates a lot of money, and that's not by happenstance. He didn't just pop up. They are strategic. They market him a certain type of way. He reinvests his money. He makes sure that he leverages social media in order to get more buzz and more visibility. And controversy really matters when it comes to people wanting to tune in to see what happens. Contrary to popular belief, whether they dislike you or whether they like you, the fact that they're talking about you and keeping you in the algorithm is the thing that really matters. Let me say that again for the black people that think that it's really meaningful and that Neon is going to be affected, whether they like you or they dislike you. because I didn't even see the black community having a conversation about Neon prior to him actually going on the Breakfast Club. And there's so many people that's now got his name in their mouth saying, I don't know what's appealing about the guy, and so on and so forth. You're never going to find out what's appealing about the guy because he doesn't necessarily tap into your demographic. But what he has been doing is making sure that he in the streets, and now he's very much in black spaces. And so a lot of people are saying two things. One of them they saying is that, the Breakfast Club needs to be canceled and all of this other stuff. The Breakfast Club is not going to be canceled. Cancel culture is dead. And I believe that the Breakfast Club probably benefited from Neon being on a platform more than Neon benefited from the Breakfast Club. That's the caveat. Give me a second. Let me let you sink that in for a minute. I believe that the Breakfast Club benefited more from Neon bringing his fan base and visibility into the Breakfast Club more than Neon benefited from being on the Breakfast Club. For Neon, I believe it was probably just content. The more controversy, people going at him, he's no stranger to it. He understands the troll game. And people don't really understand that these people have been doing this for a long time, even though he's only 20 years old. He knows what he's doing. He's no stranger to it. He is familiar with it, and it's not anything that's new to him. So you can look at it from that front on his end. On the other side, you can look at the Breakfast Club, right? And you're saying that they're not new to it because they're not necessarily breaking any new barriers. I think that they've largely benefited off of the fact that they was earlier to the game and they pioneered a lot of the earlier interviews and doing a visual instead of just doing an audio and just being radio. And that was back when Angela Yee was there. But the Breakfast Club very much is, kind of stagnant in my mind as far as whether or not they really hitting, whether or not they still getting visibility, and whether or not they, getting as much traction as they probably could. And I'm pretty sure that they're doing well and they're doing okay. But I don't really look at this as a L for either one. I think that they both benefited each other. I think that it was beneficial as far as the conversations. If you actually go and watch the interview, which I'm not really interested in showing the interview itself simply because, it's too much rigmarole with the Breakfast Club footage and all of that. And so even though I could show it, it's not really necessary. But I think that you get the gist. You get the premise. You can go to Breakfast Club and go watch the whole interview yourself if you want to. But really, it was just them coming at him. And I see a lot of people saying, well, they wasn't going at Birdman or they wasn't going at this person. I don't think that content creation is about going at people. I think it's about having uncomfortable conversations that then generate eyeballs. Because if you are not getting anybody that's popping up on your platform, or if you can't generate the revenue yourself by getting some kind of traction or anything like that, then it's not really a thing. As a matter of fact, you can go and look at Angela Yee. I don't think that Yee's all the way up or whatever it is even remotely as relevant or getting as much traction as it was when she was on the Breakfast Club. But that just shows you that they may not be as interesting by themselves as they are when they actually using other people for content. And so I don't look at it as a bad thing on Neon's part. I don't think it's a bad thing on the Breakfast Club part. I believe that it was just no harm, no foul. They both created content. And it's like the WWE up there, or WWF, or wrestling, or whatever it is that you want to frame it out to be. DJ Envy is using this in order to continue to get more traction for his social media platforms. And yeah, it is what it is. So let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. Do you think that Neon is going to be affected by the Breakfast Club going at him? And do you think that the Breakfast Club is going to be affected in a negative way as far as their reputation for going at Neon? Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments.